A News Nation reporter is out of jail now after police arrested him during a press conference in Ohio just last night.
Governor Mike DeWine was giving an update on the train derailment as Evan Lambert was trying to do a live TV hit during his remarks. You can see him here being arrested. News Nation says that he was just trying to do his job. He was then later taken out, arrested by these officers, then released after about 5 hours in jail. He could still be charged with disorderly conduct and criminal trespassing, while Ohio's Governor Mike DeWine says he did not authorize the arrest.
I don't know the facts. Let me just say that a reporter should be allowed to report live or to tape or whatever they want to do anywhere in this press conference. That happens frequently.
And no one needs the reminder, but the Constitution states the freedom of the press shall not be abridged. Now, meanwhile, folks living along the Ohio-Pennsylvania border have been told they can return home. The train derailment, of course, forced thousands out. Several of those freight cars were carrying hazardous chemicals. Now, officials were forced to release toxins into the air to avoid a potential explosion. Let's bring in Dr. John Balmes now. He's a national volunteer medical spokesperson for the American Lung Association. Doctor, thank you for being with us. Lana and I, each time we kind of give folks updates on this, continue to be concerned about people's health and safety. Residents there say, it's the air and water supply is safe. But what are the real dangers here and the lingering effects should that not be true?
Well, I'm pleased to be here. I just want to say that the toxic material that was of most concern in the tank cars was vinyl chloride. And vinyl chloride is a carcinogen, a well-known carcinogen. I actually did part of my training at Mount Sinai Medical Center, where a team of occupational medicine physicians were the first ones to document that vinyl chloride can cause liver cancer. Now, that exposure is occupational. There are OSHA regulations about occupational exposure, but we don't have any regulations about air quality in the environment with regard to vinyl chloride, in part because it shouldn't be out there. And right off, there was a fire after the train derailment. And so the fire itself produced smoke, as you showed, that is toxic to people's health. Any kind of smoke breathed in, especially by people who might have pre-existing lung disease like asthma or chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, can cause exacerbations of their disease. Now, because there was a fear of explosion of those vinyl chloride tank cars because of the train fire, they released the vinyl chloride from the tank cars into trenches and did a controlled burn to burn up the vinyl chloride. Now, when you do that, you can create highly toxic materials such as phosgene and hydrochloric acid. Fortunately, go ahead.
So, Dr. Balmes, it sounds when you're telling us all these things, if I was coming to you and said, should I move my family with 3 young kids back into this area? Authorities say it's okay. What do you say?
Well, the authorities did the right thing to evacuate people while there was the controlled burn and fire going on. Fortunately, the plume went straight up because of the weather conditions, which was good. So I don't think the controlled burn of the vinyl chloride exposed people very much. The folks that I'd be most worried about were the first responders, before I think anyone really knew that there was vinyl chloride being emitted. In terms of the return to residences, in terms of families, I think that it all depends on what residues might be found in the water and soil. I think that they won't find anything in the air if the fire is completely out now.
All right.
And, I think that the long-term effects are mostly for people who had big exposure, high exposures early on, such as the first responders.
It sounds like those folks definitely need to make sure that they are watching their health and checking in with their doctors. Dr. John Balmes, it's an area of concern. We really appreciate you coming and talking to us about it and all the work that you do.